So good evening, everyone, and welcome to our BrainFit. This is where we're going to talk about advanced nutrition for Alzheimer's and dementia and brain fog. Dr. Justine is here with us tonight. She's going to go through a wealth of information on how our brains can be at their best and optimal for us. So throughout the presentation, Dr. Justine will be gathering questions, and please feel free to be able to text the questions to her, 647-987-9355, and there'll be an opportunity at the very end of the presentation for her to be able to respond to these questions. If for some reason you wish to comment, or if you're on YouTube, just please note that your name will appear, and I will make sure those questions or comments are directed to Dr. Justine as well. So I'm going to take an opportunity and introduce Dr. Justine. So this amazing woman has come into my life, and she is not only, my boss, but she's also an amazing chiropractor and has had a wealth of information and impact to both my son and my life. She is a mother and a wife of two. She really is very passionate about health and wellness. She volunteers in our community. She is very active in the sports community as well, but she's also an author and a public speaker. So I would like to welcome Dr. Justine Blaney-Roker.
Thank you. All right, coming up, before we get into the nitty gritty about how important our brains are, just to make sure you know about our upcoming events, we do have yoga with Aisha coming up. She's been with us for over a year. And so we are doing it as a Zoom virtual yoga for 4 weeks, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., just $5 a class. So you sign up for that at the front desk for only $20. And then we're just trying to keep the group very, very small. Coming up, we have weight loss and nutrition as we get into those summer months and bathing suit time and get rid of some of that maybe corona belly and those extra nibblies as we're maybe home and snacking a little bit more. We're going to come up with partner stretching. This is often for couples or for people within the same household, how to stretch each other. And then we are going to come into detox information. After that, we're going to have a Zumba class with Linda. We're going to have ab exercises with Hannah, balance exercises. We're going to have an outdoor family workout. So we've got stuff for you almost every week all summer. So we're looking forward to staying in touch with you. If we can't see you directly, we want you to know that we're thinking about you. We want you to have this health information. Now, there's over 40 videos that we have made in the last 2.5 months. And we want you to have access and just share it with friends and family, keep everybody healthier and make a difference. So definitely share the information. Let others know they do not need to be patients to have access to this information. And we're going to keep it up. We want to make sure that we can get that information out. We are open for essential care and to help those that are hurting or help those that have chronic conditions, avoid a relapse. We look forward to be open fully soon. But today, our focus is taking care of our brains. And so we're going to use the work from Dr. Jockers. All of this information can be found online. If you'd like to look at these slides at his reports or his work, and he has great information on natural health and healing. So we're going to talk about the nutrition, the exercises you can do to keep your brain healthy, and information about how you can build brain cells if you've actually lost a few brain cells. So if you want better memory and you want to take care of your brain, this is crucially important. And part of the reason why I'm talking about this subject is because my grandfather, my stepmother's side, Ray, he had Alzheimer's, and it was really hard to see him not recognize his daughter as his son, certainly not recognize me as a step-grandchild, to become violent and to become difficult to take care of, even though my Aunt Ruby took such great care of him and everybody did the best. It was just such a hard situation. It made me start to study Alzheimer's just in my early teenage years. It's been a passion of mine. And then my grandfather on my mom's side, Opa, He also, near the end, suffered with dementia at 98, mind you. So we want to talk about, how do you prevent this? How do you take care of the most important thing in your life is your health, but definitely it would be your brain, right? If you don't have your brain, you don't have anything else. So we're going to talk about that brain is so crucial because it affects your moods, affects your hormones, affects your energy, affects your learning, affects your immune system, affects your mental health. And it can be related to neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia. So we want to talk about the importance of the brain. Now, the brain, we have neurogenesis. That's how you can make new brain, new neurons, how you can make new synapses, new connections, or strengthen those connections of those synapses. Or if certain parts of the brain aren't being used, how those die away. So, for example, I just noticed I hadn't done physics in a long time. My son's doing physics right now. And I went to look at his physics homework and I was like, oh my God, I have forgotten that stuff. But that's because I'm not using that part of my brain. I haven't had a need to remember that for probably 30 years. So, or at least 20 years. So we do can create new nerves and new synapses, and we can get rid of some of the old stuff we don't need. So we're going to talk about neuro regeneration and neuroplasticity, and you will see on the next slide that you can have all sorts of things that affect the plasticity of your brain, because your brains are able to adapt. They're able to rewire. They're able to regenerate themselves due to the physical changes in their environment. Our thoughts, our life experiences, our nutrition, our age, our patterns all affect the physiological mechanisms of our brain. They affect how our DNA works, how our microglia work, how our membranes work, how our neurotransmitters work, how our hormones work, how everything connects is affected by our lifestyle. And the science of neurogenesis shows that aerobic exercises, brain exercises, stress relief, and other lifestyle habits can affect and encourage this neural brain regeneration, improve our brain health, help to prevent neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and even reverse traumatic damage. Now, the key part about that is stress affects our brain. Stress affects neuroplasticity. Stress affects neurogenesis. And that's one of the reasons why I think even at a young age with my grandpa Ray, I learned about Alzheimer's. I saw the devastating effects of, as it was on my family. And I thought, I want to be able to be there to help people. And I knew I wanted to help people with stress. So initially, I wanted to be a psychiatrist to help people with stress. I learned that I didn't want to deal with drugs. So I chose, after having a stressful environment myself, I chose to turn towards chiropractic. But chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, naturopaths, physiotherapy, um, uh, you know, emotional freedom technique. There are so many great techniques that reduce stress, including exercise and reducing poor foods and nutrition. So today we're going to talk about those things that you can control. Focus on what you can control to take care of your brain. So these are good things today, and all things, there's going to be a list of 20 things that you can do, foods that you can add in your own home to make your brain smarter and remember more things and take care of it. So neuroplasticity can be resulted, in fact, for those stressful areas. It is also affected by social interactions. They know that the more social interactions you have, the greater neuroplasticity. It can be affected by trauma, emotions. It can also be positively affected, increasing brain activity with prayer, meditation, new experiences, exercise, nutrition, learning new skills, or changing our daily thoughts. So neurons that fire together, wire together. What we know is we can rewire our brain for better positive inputs in all of these areas, and we can try and reduce the negativity and the degeneration by removing the negative inputs. So if you look at this slide, you will see that you can have rerouting. You see the negative sign in the middle. So if the one route isn't working, you can create a new route. You can see this with people who, for example, if they have a limb removed, they can get phantom limb pain, feeling like that limb is still there. You can have sprouting, making if one part of the connection isn't working, you can create new connections and new neurons to help your body and brain connect better. So if you look at this neuroplasticity, one of the biggest things is the BDNF. That's brain-derived neurotrophic growth factor. It's a key neurochemical responsible for growth and maintenance of these neural connections, and it's what helps our body adapt and learn new things. So we want this to function well, this BDNF, and it is controlled by your nutrition. So reducing the sugars that creates inflammation, improving areas of fasting, improving your essential oils, especially your omega-3 and your fatty acids, help improve that BDNF. Improving proper sleep will help. Improving exercise will help. So as you do those areas, that will help your brain function better. If you look at the blood sugar levels, you will see in the first chart on your left that the pink area is where you have symptoms. So if things are going great, your insulin, your blood sugar levels work well, you have no symptoms. If you have poor blood sugar and insulin balance, that's when you go into the symptomatic area after eating. And I remember always one of my professors in chiropractic college who was diabetic, he got the shakes, he couldn't think, he started losing his thought processes, he started to sweat. And we knew that we had to rush to get him a juice because his sugars would be off. So we know that sugars are part of the stress response. Any type of stress can affect that BDNF, affect our cortisol levels and our adrenaline levels to affect our brain activity. If we look at some of the neurotoxins that can affect our body, things that we want to be very careful to avoid, things like mercury. And that's one of the reasons why we want to get rid of amalgam fillings, our metal in our mouth, if we can, different types of leads, aluminum. That's where this whole challenge that people have sometimes with different types of medications or vaccines is the metals within it. So that's things that you will want to do your research on. Different types of alcohol or illegal prescription drugs, fluoride. There's lots of information about healthy water and healthy DTT and pesticides outside. Looking at aspartame and the fake sugars, MSG. How our flavor retardants are the chemicals on our sheets, on our furniture and our carpets that are around us. All of these can end up being toxic, especially if they off gas. So one of the things to think about these toxicities is, what do you have under your sink or areas that you go regularly, like a medicine cabinet? If you're there regularly, is any of that off gassing that would be affecting your brain? Any type of fake spray in the bathroom or chemicals that you would plug into the wall can all be neurotoxins to affect your brain. And you may not notice it right away, but it builds up little bit at a time. So you may have no symptoms at the beginning until it builds up much later. So some of the major health problems of not exercising, staying, on the couch, definitely can affect your organs. One of the big things is things like fatty liver, fat around the different organs, high blood pressure, obesity. If we look at, as a chiropractor, of course, people are sedentary. They just have more pain, more back problems, more degenerative disc, if their neck and their lower back, more numbness and tingling in their legs, more knee problems, more hip problems, can affect blood clots, can affect permanent misalignments or degeneration. It can affect, of course, we're talking about your BDNF, your brain function. You get more hormone balance and more neurotransmitters to brain if you move more. It'll affect your muscles, of course, and the more you rest, the more tired you can be. And I know this to be true. If I sleep in, I feel worse, right? Or you hit the snooze button multiple times, you tend to feel worse. You feel more sluggish in the morning than if you just get out of bed at the planned time, go to bed at the planned time, so you have a regular schedule and routine. We know that these stress habits can affect things like grinding your teeth or trouble concentrating, affect your mood, your angry, anxiety, affecting muscle tension, affecting indigestion, stomach problems, affecting your skin, or just chronic fatigue. I know in these troubled COVID times, I've had some patients talking to me like they're sleeping 16, 17 hours a day. They just can't physically get out of bed unless it's to come to the office. And this is going to have massive trouble on all of these different organs, not just your bones, your alignment, your muscles, but it's going to affect your lungs, your heart. It's going to affect all the different organs. So the goal is to reduce stress overall in all of the different ways, whether it's chiropractic, massage, acupuncture, physiotherapy. We hope to get all of the services back up and running, but even meditation, prayer, a walk, a hike, getting our bodies up and moving, or focusing on the breathing exercises that we have already put on our site, can help reduce that stress overall. We know that stress will affect your amygdala, which is a part of your brain that affects emotional processing. So that's where you can get people when they're under stress, they're just not themselves. They have less patience. They're going to yell at you at the grocery store when they normally wouldn't be that kind of person. They get frustrated if somebody bumps in line or comes too close to them because of that stress response. We know that it's going to affect what's called their hypothalamus, affecting their heart rate and affecting their cortisol levels, which is going to affect their overall memory, their overall ability to learn, and their overall ability to adapt. So anytime we can reduce the stress response in any form at all, you're going to help your brain function better. If we look at the next slide, we're going to talk about brain gut reaction. Very, very important to look at. I know when you're feeling nervous, that can make you feel upset in your stomach. So your brain and gut are react. As you look at this slide, there's constant communication and influence of your brain to your gut. And you have that sympathetic, parasympathetic response, your brain gut area. And your brain gut will be affected by anxiety, by stress, by moods, behavior. And you know that because you get that upset stomach, or you get that jitters. Then it affects, you're not able to focus, you're not able to remember your list, you're not able to remember a conversation, or be able to focus on a conversation, or remember the last sentence or the last word is said. So that brain gut reaction will have a huge impact. So what we want to work on, I'm just going to check my phone. It says I'm offline. Okay, I will try going back online. Stick with us if we can, and I will try getting back online. listening to YouTube clips would be helpful. Nature walk and self-talk. I see you there. Does that mean I get slides?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so we're on gratefulness. We did the brain guts, and we are now on gratefulness, which is number 5. And grateful people have more energy, more optimism, are healthier overall, better moods, able to help others more. But we know that one of the things that help you with the gratefulness, which is number 5, is it's going to help you get a better sleep. So good thing is to journal. If you can, 3 things that you're grateful for every night before you go to bed, and try to focus and silence those negative thoughts, those areas that affect our overall energy. It's those areas that we just want to, okay, we have them, have a period for it, and then put them away. It's like put them in a drawer. And so that you can have drawers for, vision thoughts, mission thoughts, happy optimism thoughts, prayer, meditation thoughts, and then a drawer at the bottom with the negativity, the drawer that you never want to go to, or you reach in for a period of time and then you shut that door. Number 6 is focusing on your sleep and things that will help you get better quality of sleep. And so sleep definitely affects our brain regenerate. So things that you want to do is be able to have a cool room, be able to have it as dark, those blackout blinds, a mask if you need to for your eyes, avoiding caffeine at all or close to bedtime, not eating close to bedtime or exercising close to bedtime, getting regular sunlight, regular exercise, avoiding blue light and computers, phones right before bed, and trying to have a regular routine. So you're winding down at 9 o'clock, or not, because the 3 hours before midnight make a bigger difference than, for example, sleep from 12 to 9 or 12 to 8 is not the same as sleep starting at, say, 10 p.m. So getting those hours before bed make a huge difference. I did do an entire sleep talk. It went down a little bit, but we got back on, same as this one, last week. So definitely hook up with the sleep talk last week. If this happens again, I'm staying with it. I got great information. So hang in there. As the internet goes up and down, we're staying with it. I got lots of great information for today. Next one after we're going to talk about is your gut health and using probiotics. And probiotic rich foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, probiotic supplements. They help with immunomodulation. They help with protecting from infections, helping your stomach, help with nutrient absorption, helps with weight loss, and it helps with brain function. Number 8 is probably my favorite, is looking at neuropic exercises. And so some of them can be like standing on one leg, learning to dance in a different way that you normally dance. So for example, if you never do hip hop, do the TikToks that I see my daughter doing, but learning a new way of movement can be a huge help to help your brain function better. Looking at crossword puzzles or adding a new instrument, using your non-dominant hand to eat for a night, try that. Looking to blindfold and eat blindfolded, so you really have to taste your food, or to eat with your hands, to have a different texture experience. Walking barefoot outside, taking time to journal your thoughts. So creating a morning routine, and then looking to change that routine. What would you do differently? Drive a different way to work, park in a different spot, go to a different coffee shop, but changing our routine. Adding chess or different types of word games, Sudoku, crosswords can be huge helpful. Going to a farmer's market, that might be difficult right now, but getting ourselves into different environments. Maybe it's going to a different park, a different walk, a different environment, and getting ourselves out in nature. All right. Seeing new things helps develop new brain activities. So this is a good time, maybe share board games with your neighbor, put them back and forth, try new card games, um, new balance skills, and pick up different kinds of books that you wouldn't normally read. Number 10 is reducing your toxic load. So you'll see that this is a fairly difficult slide to monitor, but the point of this is that we have to detox and eliminate toxins, or they build up and affect your brain. They affect different symptoms. So you will see that when we have toxins, not only does it affect your brain, but it can affect your skin, affects arthritis in your joints, it affects your heart, affects fatigue levels, can affect diabetes or fibromyalgia, hormone balance, any type of inflammatory response, neurological disorders, and can affect being overweight, because we hold the fat, the toxins are held in the fat. So you'll see how toxins can come in. On the left hand side, they can come in through your breathing them in, through your skin, through your stomach, what you digest. They can come through the different organs, and our liver will try to detox it and then eliminate it. And then there will be an affinity for those toxins to go to your fat, to go to your joints, to go to your nerves. So the goal is to reduce those toxins in the first place. Now, that's one of the reasons why we're going to have a detox talk coming up. So stay tuned to follow up on more on detox then. One of the things I'm doing right now, because I'm using that Perel, that alcohol stuff on my hands at the office a lot. So just getting more chlorella, more cilantro, more greens on a regular basis. Calcium magnesium has been shown to help with healthy brain, helps those synapses, helps with muscle strain, muscle tension, helps with moods. So definitely looking at different healthy forms of magnesium or CalMag. You can look at different ways of getting it at Healthy Planet or Hoopers, which are stores that I've been to and are open. Some of the foods and herbs that can help you to help with autophagy. That's getting rid of some of those bad cells and getting rid and helping new cells form in your brain. Things like quercetin is an anti-inflammatory, can found in onions, cranberries, elderberries. Elderberries have been shown right now to help with your immune system. Ginger, turmeric, natural anti-inflammatory, resveratrol. So that's when people talk about that red wine. You just want to make sure the wine does not have chemicals in it. Grapes, blueberries, looking at green teas or oolong teas or dark chocolate, looking at areas of Earl Grey tea, citrus, bergamot, and looking at areas of oregano also known to help with your immune system, sage and rosemary. So think about 3 things on this list that you could use regularly to help as herbs to be able to reduce stress on your brain. So when we look at oxygen, huge part of improving your overall brain function. We're meant to breathe, all right? So you'll see the oxygen can help get into those red blood cells, give you energy, but also helps with that circulation, helps your whole body regenerate. And you know that your body can get new blood cells. That's why on a regular basis, that's why you can give blood. And your blood's going to carry that oxygen. One of the reasons why they know that it can help with swelling or increase stem cells, as well as brain health. And so this is one of the challenges with the masks, that if you are exercising and you're outside for a walk, get fresh air. Whatever your beliefs on the mask, just make sure fresh air is good. Make sure you get opportunity on your balcony, outside your window, whatever you feel comfortable with. Make sure that you get opportunity to work on your breathing exercises. Outside is best rather than still in isolation, especially with these beautiful days, to get that fresh air and focus on those breathing techniques that are on our previous videos. All right, going on to the next exercise, we want to make sure whether you stand up or you just move, just get 20 seconds of moving, just getting loosened up, because we know that helps your exercise. focus on getting your upper body moving. Give yourself that self hug, because we have more information coming about Alzheimer's and dementia coming right up. Another great article with Dr. Josh Jockers on top natural treatment for dementia coming right up. All right. So one of the things that we want to talk about are the 7 facts about dementia worldwide. And these are some scary, scary facts about dementia. Dementia is one of the, if it was a nation, it would be the 18th largest world economy nation. It affects over 2.5 million people ages 65 and older. Under the age of 65. So it is affecting, yes, people are older, but it affects everybody, affecting over 45 million people worldwide. All right, just put that in perspective to what we're dealing right now. It's way more people. And they expect, if you look at by 2050, that it will go to 135 million. Now that is a serious, serious case, because when we deal with dementia, we can't take care of ourselves. And so that's a huge challenge for our loved ones, our parents, our grandparents, and especially the women, because it affects women twice as often. So there's a new case of dementia being diagnosed every 4 seconds. That is way more than corona. So very important, some of this information coming back up, and it's huge cost to our society and to our families. So when you look at the next slide, you'll see just how cool your brain is. Look at all these amazing parts. I mentioned a little bit already about some of these areas. The amygdala in the bottom left-hand corner, so important because it affects all visceral function, but it also is related to emotional fear and emotional stress. So any type of fear is going to affect your brain function. So our goal is to reduce fears, reduce stress, so our body functions better. If you look at the pituitary gland going right up on your left-hand side, you'll see that that affects hormone levels in the glands on your body. I mentioned the hypothalamus before, as it affects your blood pressure, your body temperature, and can affect sex hormones. If you look around the top part of your brain, cool, that's going to be the effect that different parts of movement. And if you come down through the left-hand side, you see your cerebellum. That's going to affect your balance, your coordination of movement. Great for athletes. And the cool part is when you do different exercises and you do those neurotropic exercises I talked to you about, you can build these brain cells. You can build those brain synapses or create new roots if you do different exercises for your brain. So even if part of it is not being used, you can build the other parts of your brain right up to the time that you die. There's never an ending of creating neurogenesis. So if you look at memory, hippocampus, that's bottom right-hand side, very, very cool that we want to take care of. You'll see the bottom right side, that part there, the hippocampus is one of the biggest parts that we want to take care of, as well as our brain stem. And that's the area that can affect your heart rate, your digestion, your breathing, your circulation, nurse your thyroid. So that's why taking care of your neck curve and that C curve or the arc of life, having an x-ray of your neck is so important because it's related to your cerebellum and your brain stem. So if you look at, there's different types of dementia. As we are looking, that there's over 75 million people with dementia. The most common is the Alzheimer's that you see on the right-hand side, and that's what my grandfather Ray had. But we also have vascular dementias that represent almost 25%. Lewy body dementia, that's just a smaller percentage, closer to 20%. Frontal lobe dementia, which is smaller area, and then dementia related or secondary to trauma or other diseases like Parkinson's, Huntington's, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, HIV, alcohol, different types of seizure activity. So dementia tends to be a blanket term of many different forms of dementia. But if you look at where dementia is around the world, you'll see that over the number of people, America and Asia tend to be affected more than, for example, Africa and Europe. And that's often what many people relate is back to lifestyle. So again, that's why we're going to talk about things that we can control. So if we look at some of the factors that increase your dementia risk, it's not going to be a surprise like we were talking about the brain activities, your fasting insulin levels, your cortisol levels, your inflammation, your blood sugar. All of that is affected by diet. Is also affected by your stress, affecting your dementia risk. So increased stress, increased damage to the brain, increased risk of dementia, affected by genetics, lifestyle, and your blood pressure. So you'll see the different stages of dementia. You'll see that there's memory impairment. So at the beginning, it's just forgetting little things, misplacing things. Eventually, that gets inability to do things like math in your head or count in your head. And then forgetting places and forgetting names. And that's when I started to know my grandparents not knowing who I am or not knowing their own kids, eventually not knowing their own spouse. And then it gets to that full loss of facial recognition, forgetting how to eat, how to go to the bathroom, how to dress, how to do any different activities. And you'll see a similar pattern for initially with speech, slow to just pure gibberish, not able to talk. Same with physical activities at the beginning, just poor coordination to the end, not being able to move or do very much at all. And then the toughest part that I noticed with my family was behavioral impairments. At the beginning, it might be depression, confusion, but then it gets into the anger and the anxiety and the stress response. And then later, what we noticed with my grandfather when he was in the seniors home is just people wandering all over. They're just not knowing where they're going, what they're doing, not being able to have any kind of focus at all of a memory of where they're going, if they turn something on or turn something off, even just getting to the point of forgetting to eat. So Alzheimer's disease, you'll see the different parts. It actually kind of shrinks the brain if you look down there. So at the beginning, affecting that cerebral cortex, and then you'll see that brain shrinkage, especially the hippocampus that we talked about earlier is major part of the brain, and the brain stem on the lower right-hand side of that previous slide. So there's different types of cognitive impairment, and it can happen over several years. At the beginning, it might be just your short-term memory, and then over time, it'll affect more of that frontal lateral lobes. So you'll start to see that you have poor object recognition, poor direction, sense of direction. That might be me already. I get lost a lot. But short attention span, poor judgment, impulsivity, and then later it starts to affect more of the brain, affecting even our vision, our smell, our taste, other parts of the brain. So I think the next slide is crucial in looking at the differences between Alzheimer's and dementia. So dementia is a group of symptoms and a group of disorders. It's not a specific concern. Alzheimer's is something that is progressive, degenerative disorder that attacks the brain cells and nerve cells, leading to that loss of memory, thinking, language skills, or even control of our own bodies, our own behavioral areas. So there's definitely different strategies to prevent that degeneration, dementia, that you can control. One of the things is, of course, a nutritional plan, anti-inflammatory foods. So that's why, again, we have our weight loss talk coming up. Reduces insulin and reducing blood sugar levels, eating the healthier foods, getting exercise, proper rest, getting rid of different medications that can cause damage, reducing stress, improving our sleep, our gut health, and you'll see here proper supportive nutrients, but staying socially active. So if you can't see your friends directly with this social distancing, definitely just staying on contact online. Some of the 3 steps for that anti-inflammatory diet: reducing or eliminating sugars and grains and dairy for some people, as well as getting rid of the bad fats, trans fats, fried fats, processed foods, and changing the meats that you eat. Looking at your blood sugar levels, they know that there's a connection between your blood sugar levels and diabetes and Alzheimer's increased risk. So if you have type 2 diabetes, that increases your risk of of dementia and Alzheimer's. If you have middle type diabetes or high levels of diabetes, still increasing your risk of Alzheimer's. But look at some of the foods that you then should completely avoid. Table salt, we want that Himalayan salt or pink salt, vegetable oil, microwave popcorn, processed meat, artificial sugars, NutraSweet, aspartame, looking towards healthier sugars like xylitol or bark sugar, unpasteurized honey, pure maple syrup, avoiding soy products or unfermented soy products, anything that's non-organic or on the dirty dozen, and looking at canned foods can cause a challenge as well. So when we look at doctors and people like our paleo cardiologist, Dr. Wolfson, they will promote the this type of paleo diet that you will see here, where you're trying to have at the bottom the most greens. So on your plate, the majority greens, avocado, healthy grass-fed meats, and healthy fats. Then you'll want to look at things like your good MCT oils, and then looking at your healthy vegetables and low glycemic fruits like berries, lemons, and limes, green apples. Then your grass-fed meats, wild fish, pasture raised or wild chicken, and wild meat. And then you go to all your fibers, getting from your seeds, your nuts, your walnuts, pecans, Brazil nuts, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds. And then you get to those fermented foods to help your diet and your gut health, like the kimchi, pickles, sauerkraut, coconut, yogurt. And then you get to the healthy sweeteners like the stevia, monk fruit, xylitol, and erythritol. So some of the fats, if you look at the fats, you want to look at the ones that to use at the top when things are hot. That's coconut fat or coconut oil, butter, ghee, or lamb fat, meat fat, eggs. And then you want to look at the unsaturated fats would be healthy, would be like your olive oil, olives, nuts, seeds, avocados. And then the foods that you want to avoid would be things like your corn oil, safflower oil, peanut oil, sesame seed oil, sunflower oil, rice bean oil, vegetable oil. So, I mean, that list is huge, but the biggest one is margarine. Margarine is just toxic. So that's something that you totally would wish to try and avoid. Some of the therapeutic areas of the ketogenic diet, it does help your brain, helps reduce inflammation. So it helps with Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's disease, helps with migraines, seizures, anxiety, brain injuries. So again, with that ketogenic diet, that is increasing your healthy fats, no sugars and things that make a sugar, and reduce proteins to reduce acidic function. So some of the 5 top brain boosting foods: healthy fish. Yes, you can have that more than once a week. Blueberries, pumpkin seeds, healthy chocolate. That's not milk chocolate, organic dark chocolate, and avocados. So if you look at dark chocolate or raw cacao, you can add that to a protein shake to make healthy desserts. Helps with your heart, helps with weight loss, helps with blood clotting, helps detoxify the body, helps with your joints, helps with menses, helps with anti-aging and regeneration of that brain function. One of the things that we want to look at is lemon water. This is easy, folks. Sorry, the sun is there coming through there. I'm trying to keep back until somebody helps me to close the window. The shades. So it helps with digestion, helps with detoxification when you have that lemon water, helps with vitamin C, helps your moods, helps your energy. So easy thing to help your body get rid of fat is to have a glass of lemon water every single morning. Another one that's easy to do is add turmeric. You can add turmeric to your foods. You can add it to say just water, or some people call it yellow milk just before bed, but it's an anti-inflammatory product. You can add it to your dinner. It improves digestion, improves and prevents Alzheimer's disease by helping with inflammation, helps with liver disease, wound healing, cholesterol levels, to help your body function better. Red wine, I know this would be my dad's favorite, but it helps with lipid levels, helps reduce your risk of dementia, helps with insulin resistance, blood sugar control, and heart disease. Now, this doesn't mean a lot of red wine. This means some red wine to get that resveratrol and help reduce inflammation, but trying to look towards healthy sources, because the challenge with wines is the preservatives. So it's not necessarily healthy for everybody, and certainly still doesn't mean in large amounts. So coffee, the good news is coffee can be good for you to help with your brain function, certainly can help wake you up, help with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's disease, gallstones, help with cirrhosis of the liver, but you want to make sure that it doesn't affect other areas such as your sleep. I'm just going to text one of my family to help with the lights there and the shade. Just a second. Close blinds. Please. Okay. See if my husband helps me with that, so I don't have to lean right back. Okay, so it can help with your sleep. So just it hopefully will help you wake up. But if you have caffeine, obviously just before bed, that would affect your sleep routine, which would lead to a negative area. It means you don't want to have your vitamins with your coffee. But it also can affect vitamin absorption. Of course, can affect your teeth. So there are goods, pros and cons to coffee. Is looking at the quality of coffee, and when you have it, they can affect your body overall. Women and men can be affected differently, but it talks about having multiple cups of coffee. As probably trying to reduce the amounts would be great. And you can see the amounts of coffee that can be affected by just how you get and how you make your coffee and where it comes from. And then just making sure what you put in your coffee can negatively affect that coffee. Definitely, if you're adding sugar, you want to look for the healthier forms of sugar like stevia, xylitol, or none at all, but staying away from those artificial sugars into your coffee. All right. So Dr. Jockers talks about different types of drugs that can affect your dementia or your brain function. One of the ones I wanted to bring there because of allergy season, Benadryl is coming up to allergy season. So that can affect your overall ability to deal with allergies, but it can affect dementia over time. Things that drugs that you use for sleep, like Nidal, drugs that we can use for antidepressants can affect your overall sleep, and even different drugs that can affect with overactive bladder or allergy functions. You'll see that can affect things like itching and hives. All of these different drugs can affect brain function. And me just having to stay back away from the light, I'm just going to ask another family member if I can get help with the light there, and say help with the blinds. There we go. See if I can get somebody else. All right. So I'm just going to stay back out of the sun. Even though the sun is good for you, there are definite benefits of the vitamin D. Thank you. There you go. My husband's closing the blind, so I don't have to stay away there. Thank you. So 7 benefits of vitamin D: can reduce inflammation, help with brain function and getting rid of bad cells, helping your immune system, improving your sleep, improving your heart function. Definitely get your vitamin D tested with your naturopath or your MD. Any type of nutrient changes or vitamin changes, I would recommend with your naturopath. Many of them are working virtually so that you know how much is the right amount for you? I know for vitamin D, for me, I need to take larger amounts because I don't get a lot of sun. So just make sure you get it checked. But if in doubt, 2 to 5,000 units, which is typically 2 to 5 drops, would be a healthy start. All right. We know that vitamin K will help your vitamin D work better. It'll help your arteries, help your joints, help your bones. So another area that will help brain function. Now, cortisol is part of your stress response, and we've always been going through here talking about if you have higher stress, that it leads to lower brain function and can affect your brain directly. So, when we have higher cortisol levels, it affects your blood pressure, blood sugar levels, therefore affecting people with diabetes, increased dementia. We know that it can lower higher cortisol levels, reduces your immune system, and increases your fat storage. All of those areas have effect on heart disease and on brain function. So strategies to improve those cortisol levels. One, we know reducing stress. Remember, whether it's chiropractic, massage, acupuncture, naturopathy, physiotherapy, any type of emotional freedom technique, tapping technique, gratefulness, meditation, prayer, all of those areas, breathing exercises, grounding, walking on the grass, magnesium, adaptogenic herbs, all those areas as far as an anti-inflammatory diet, reduce the cortisol response, improve brain function. Improving your sleep. We talked a little bit about this already. That blackout room, looking at healthy sleep herbs like Camille, looking at things like serotonin, melatonin, chamomile tea, peppermint tea, taking areas to, if you're watching TV, to watch something that you can totally disconnect, or something that's funny, just to get our mind off of any challenge we may have, or just talking to a friend to sort of reduce that stress so that you can get a better quality sleep. We want to improve glutathione. And so definitely you can look at supplements, but glutathione is an area that will help your cells work better, help you detox. Like I said, the chlorella and the cilantro, detox those heavy metals, those areas that I showed you that you could be eating or breathing in. It'll help be an antioxidant for the body, protect yourselves around from environmental toxins, help the cells heal and give you more energy. So glutathione is extremely healthy for your brain, but looking to talk to your naturopath how you can build your glutathione naturally is probably or is the best way before adding a supplement. One of the things to improve glutathione is to stay socially active. So definitely looking at different ways to reduce loneliness, reduce depression, can help reduce areas and signs of dementia. So we can help with that by laughing with a friend. The benefits of laughing increases those endorphins, reduces your stress hormones. Get creative with new activities, new artwork, new activities with your children, new hikes, and laughter will build those anti-aging hormones and help us function better overall, improving our memory. All right, getting into the third article that I wanted to talk about is the top 20 foods for brain activity. But before we get into that, we want to get moving again. So you can stand, run on the spot, and just as an activity to show you that if you're working at home, you just have to do a little bit of activities just to wake up your body, even just stand up, self hugs, just a little bit, 20, 30 seconds. You could create a timer to roll those shoulders, looking right, looking left, looking up, looking down, just to wake up your body. Take a chance to look up, look sideways, get your eye away from the screen, and then back at it we go. All right, we're going to cover the top 20 brain foods, what to eat and what to avoid. Share this with friends because this is easy stuff, folks, that you can do to help your body function better and your brain to function better. You'll look at this slide. The antioxidants, your vegetables, your berries, your avocados, dark chocolate, coffee. We talked about different herbs, your saturated fats, your healthy fats, the coconut oil that you can cook with. I add coconut cream to my tea in the morning. Your healthy omega-3s, EPA, DHA, so getting your wild fish, grass-fed animal products, adding magnesium with veggies, grass-fed animal products, nuts and seeds, improving your vitamin B, which helps with stress as well. So if feeling stressed or fearful, great time to add a B supplement. We talked about D supplements and healthy vitamin C as well, all areas that can help your body function better that we sell at the office. Choline with your grass-fed butter and your healthy eggs, and zinc also helps with your whole brain function and your immune system. Grass-fed animal products, wild-caught seafood, and pumpkin seeds. All right, so we're going to go through the top 20 brain foods, and you can get this list if you want to email us. We'd be happy to get you this list as we go through it right now. So we're going to talk about coffee, making sure remember that it is inhibits different neurotransmitters, helps us wake up, so helps adenosine, helps with other neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine. Number 2, grass-fed animals, beef, lamb, and bison. So getting those wild animals would be better than ones that are fed grain. So when you add animals fed with grain foods, it is higher inflammatory, it's greasier, and they use the grain to fatten up the animal versus having animals that are free range. That means that antioxidants, pro-inflammatory, healthier fats, healthier CLA, leaner and juicier. All right, wild fish. So that gets you your healthier fatty acids, your omega-3s to help, because your brain is 70% fat. So you want to get the great omega-3s, reduce your omega-6. You want it to be able to reduce oxidative stress, help get rid of those free radicals, and then help with nutrigenomics, which is helping your body with positive effect on gene expression. You want to add apple cider vinegar. You can do this with salad dressings easily, helps with food cravings, helps your digestion, improves blood sugar levels. And as we said, if you have imbalance of blood sugar levels and insulin, that increases your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. Avocados are great for your heart, your muscles, your digestion, your immune system, your bones, your skin. But again, it gets you that healthy fats for your brain. Citrus foods, we mentioned this already. Getting that lemon water any time of the day will help regenerate those brain cells and help your body detox. Rosemary helps with lymphatic circulation, lymphatic drainage, helps with stress and anxiety, helps with headaches and migraines and digestion. So we'll a good one to help with your acetylcholine. So that helps with memory and cognition. Number 8, we talked about turmeric helping prevent Alzheimer's disease. And number 9, we talked about the raw cacao chocolate, just making sure you get the healthier chocolate to help affect your heart, your brain function, your blood glucose levels, so a healthier brain food. Number 10, blueberries help with vision. It's a lower glycemic, blood sugar levels, reducing risk of heart disease, and helps with memory. Ashwagandha Something that helps with stress. And we know if we can reduce stress, that'll help your brain function better, helps with depression, tension, fatigue. It helps improve concentration. So you can use this and you boil it to make a tea. We also have a powder that you can add to smoothies. Chia seeds, I use these if I'm going to have a breakfast or if I have my breakfast later, I will have seeds and chia seeds and coconut flakes. But chia seeds will help create the great fiber, create energy for your body, and healthy fats. So, great food for brain function. Easy to add on top of salads, into oatmeal, into cereals, into any baked goods to make chia puddings. And they fill you up to help with feeling full and deal with cravings. Lemon ginger teas, you can make your own with ginger, water, lemon. You can either make as a tea or a warm or cold drink. But ginger, very, very healthy. You can either use it as a tea or a drink or even just to chew on it. Healthy eggs. You just want to make sure that they're wild, so animals that are the chicken aren't cooped up, that they're able to walk around and be free range. That will help with getting the right nutrients for your brain and help with lutein, which helps your eyes and your heart. Coconut oil, as I said, you can cook with this, but it helps with uh, your pancreas, Alzheimer's, focus, bone health, your muscles, immune system, digestion, helps your body deal with sugar and cholesterol. So, coconut oil is something you want to find ways to cook with or have in your diet more often. Grass-fed butters, so and ghee that it might be a little bit harder to find, but they do have them, for example, at the Indian Bazaar. So you just have to look a little more carefully, and that will help create the grass-fed butters, add more vitamin D and vitamin K that we mentioned. It helps reduce inflammation, helps brain function, and helps your immune system. All right, more green. So look at this list. What could you add to this list into your diet that you're not already doing on a daily basis? So, arugula, collards, lettuce, kale, turnip, mustard greens, romaine, spinach, Swiss chard. How could you have this much every single day of something on that list and looking towards half your plate being green at all times? And that's going to help you get that energy for your brain. Adding olives that have that good, healthy fats. So, looking towards olive and olive oil to help your brain and body function better, to get those good vitamins, your vitamin A, your vitamin E, your essential oils, copper, calcium, your B vitamins. And we know B vitamins will help you with stress. Green tea is known to help with free radicals, help your body get rid of damaged cells, and then that would help your overall brain function better, not only for things like Alzheimer's, dementia, but also for cancer. Red wine, we mentioned this already, but it will help with overall blood sugar levels, inflammation, and risks of dementia. And lastly, 20, not my favorite, but I know my mom used to force us to eat liver when we were little, but loaded with B vitamins, vitamin A. So this is something that if you're not comfortable with the different types of chicken liver, beef liver, fish liver, other forms of edible livers, maybe you could hide it in different stews, find an amazing cook. I don't know. I never, as a vegetarian now, I can't do it, but and I remember being forced as a child with gravy to try and hide it. But it is having those organ meats are known to have the right vitamins to help with brain function. Some of the worst foods, we got to know those too. Staying away from your sugars, your carbohydrates, your processed oils, processed foods, packaged foods, non-organic foods, unfermented soy, and grains, because grains turn to sugars. And your grains just aren't the same anymore. So any of the types of sugars or anything that turns to a sugar is going to affect all parts of your body, not just your brain, but your and the brain pathways, but your heart, your joints, and your organs, and even your skin. So foods that you want to buy organic, see this list: cucumber, squash, meats, apples, celery, eggs, grapes, strawberries, things that you cannot wash well, things with not a thick layer that you're going to peel off, or things that you want to try and do organic. I definitely recommend to look at the Dirty Dozen or the Clean 15 as you're doing your shopping, to start to carry that around or memorize it. But definitely looking for your definitely your healthy meats. So that means free range or wild meats. Soy, I know that as a vegetarian, a lot of people turn to tofu and different soy products, and this meatless, burger. But just be careful, because who knows what's in that. You just gotta be very, very careful, because soy has um, uh, can be healthy in some ways. It just depends on where you get it, and make sure that it is the right kind of soy, unfermented versus fermented, and make sure that you're looking at that very, very carefully. Things that will affect your blood-brain barrier, things that affect inflammation and creates that foggy thinking, and it usually comes down to gut and food sensitivity. So you can have your food sensitivities tested with your naturopath, BIE specialist, bioelimination, and we're looking forward to having those services back as soon as possible. Gluten is a big thing. It's not the same as it used to be. 70% of people have gluten sensitivities. Doesn't mean they get sick to their stomach, but that gluten affects inflammation systemically through the body and affects their brain. So if you can't do with none, look towards less. Look for sprouted grains, and look for almond flour and coconut flour and different ways to have those grains. There are some fun ways that you can add these into your diet. You can look at turmeric tea, and as I said, I have coconut milk in my tea, or coconut cream. Looking at different ways to add it to essential oils to your coffee or tea can make it so that butter coffee or the butter tea can make it easier for you. We also have different ways to have your green teas, again, with the coconut cream or milk, or your healthy grass-fed butter or oil, and bone broth can help you with your digestion. Looking at different forms of blueberry puddings or chia puddings by using avocados to get those healthy fats in. Devil's eggs, all right? That's one of my favorites. But looking, remember, for all olive oil, coconut oil, turmeric, avocado oil. So you can also get healthier forms of mayonnaise to make sure that it's healthier for you, and it's anti-inflammatory, which will help with brain function. Looking at having burgers naked with a lettuce burger, or with avocado. So, for example, when I have eggs, I have avocado. It makes you feel full better. So instead of adding those grates, look at the different ways that you can make guacamole. Great way to have a snack. And then instead of using regular crackers, use celery, use cucumber, use zucchini, use seed crackers to have a healthy snack. And you can have your treats too. This is, again, you see, the chocolate is good, the coconut is good, and you can learn how to make different healthy desserts. We have many on our Maximize Living website as different options to make healthy desserts using healthier sugars such as stevia, xylitol, erythritol, or healthier things, healthy forms of honey or maple syrup, or healthier low glycemic fruits. You'll see the salmon burgers. This would be one of my favorites, especially now not eating meat or chicken as a vegetarian. So different ways to put your veggies in the middle of your salmon can be extremely healthy. All right, just before we get to the end, everybody get moving. We're near the end for our makeover. We look forward to doing these as a group again, rolling those shoulders, getting ourselves moving, moving back and forth in our chair, just getting our lower body moving, stomping your feet. All right, getting your head moving as we're finishing up. All right. Okay, Strell strategies for brain um, fog. And as we get into that, I just want to share with you a book that one of my favorite patients, Teresa, gave to me, who sells essential oils. And there's a lot of questions about essential oils. I personally use them in my home, don't have them at the office because some people have allergies or can't handle them, different smells. But there have been studies that say that essential oils can help with brain function. So some of them that I wanted to list off come from this book that she helped give to me, Mind Your Brain. And there's some essential oils that Loris told me about called Melissa, or your peppermint, or your cedar wood, your bergamot, your basil, um, sage, clove has been known to help with brain function. Oregano, peppermint, um, and sorry, pages turned down for me, valerian. So there's a huge list and chapter in this book. If you'd like to know more or to be in contact with Teresa about essential oils, we use them in our home, as I said, with the diffuser. You can find ones that can help you, and majority of the time, like, they're just, it isn't going to hurt you, so why not? All right, so as we get into other of these 12 strategies for brain blast, and to help with brain fog, as we've dealt with dementia and Alzheimer's, you're going to look at posture, making a big difference. We're seeing that computer posture. So we want to make sure we maintain our ear over our shoulder. All right, shoulders back, shoulders over our hips, because that helps the circulation through your entire body, helps stop you from causing subluxations of the spine, helps protect your brain stem, and creates better circulation of the lymphatic and blood flow for your whole brain to get the nutrients it needs. So some of these strategies: drinking the water with lemon, drinking lots of water, using essential oils that we just talked about, movement, getting those surges in. That's why we have our different exercises that will be coming up. Like, we're having ab strength. We're going to come up. My family's going to do a family workout to video for you. Adding rosemary, fennel, using a wobble cushion, which we sell at the office, so that you can do a minute of wobbling, increases circulation through your entire body and up to your brain. They know that they've done studies for the kids at school. If they get them using a wobble cushion, increases focus and concentration. Hot, cold showers, walking barefoot outside, taking deep breaths, creating that posture. The dark chocolate, getting your sun and your vitamin D. And you'll like this one, listening to music and singing. So sing in the shower, play the music in the kitchen, dance in the kitchen, and that will help with brain fog. So your essential oils, help with things like to help with stress. You'll see the lavender, the sage, the frankincense. You'll see things to help with worry. You'll see the sandalwood, things that will uplift your mood. So I like the orange here at home. You'll look at things like, for memory, rosemary, frankincense, peppermint, sage that I mentioned, reducing inflammation. We talked about the cedar, lavender, sandalwood, chamomile. So looking at the right essential oils that are for you, and you might have to try a few, but look to have good quality oils. They are not all the same. I love the dollar store, but this is not where I'm going to buy my essential oil. buy it from a reputable source, and a reputable person. And we do have different distributors within our practice that you could speak to them about it. Um, Earthing. So walking barefoot, sitting barefoot, getting outside in the grass, in the sand, having a nap under a tree are all things that can help with brain function. Hot and cold showers, not my favorite, but it does improve circulation and helps with depression, helps with detox, helps with healing, and helps with function of it, pretty much everything in your body, improving your sleep, your immune system, and your nervous system, which is connected to your brain. So, how do you do that? Hot shower, turn it to cold, turn it back to hot. Not my favorite thing, but definitely helpful for you. And I like this one though, napping. So I know if I nap too long, I feel really, really tired, and I feel like I have less focus afterwards. So for me, somewhere around that 10 to 12-minute mark is what's great for me. Just helps me get going and get that second wind. When you get into 30, 60 minutes, it's different. 60 minutes can help with improving your memory, and it gets into the different form of slow wave sleep. But you will feel more groggy waking up after those longer naps. When you get into an hour and a half, like that is now into a full sleep. You get into those REM sleeps levels. So you just sometimes it's needed for, especially if you're emotionally stressed. But just be cautious that typically that's too long and will affect your ability to get sleep at night. Things that you might need them. How do you know if you need more vitamin D? If we've said to take it somewhere between 2 to 5,000 units, get it tested. But way you will know is if you have increased pain, increased mood dysfunction, depression, sleepiness, muscle acheness, blood pressure being affected, affecting your endurance, your bones, often sick, are affecting your brain. Things like learning difficulties, troubles with focus, and troubles with concentration and memory. All right, the brain is pretty cool. Look at the differences between the right brain and the left brain. And we've always heard about it like you've got an English brain or a math brain. But when you see this chart, I think it's pretty cool to see that we want to work on both parts with all of the nutrition. But it's interesting seeing that left part of the brain, if you have a weakness, affect your reading, your spelling, letter recognition, speech, affect your immune system, affecting small details. So these are important things. For example, if you're concerned about a mini stroke, um, things on the right side, symptoms might be hyperactivity, trouble with gross motor skills, focus, attention, trouble with emotions, inappropriate social behaviors, autoimmunity, and increased allergies, um, and just inability to have eye contact or anxiety. I've mentioned this already. Music and singing is great for your brain. That keeps your brain young. You do not have to be a good singer. You do not have to be a good musician, but just getting your body listening and using music. We know this. We play rattles. We play music for our babies, or for even for when they're inside the pregnant mom. We're playing the music and talking to them. So it helps with memory, function, and creativity. All right, we'll see if we have any questions. Again, I apologize for that delay that we had in the middle. Um, and I'm just seeing if there are any other questions. If they're not, you can ask us at the office. As I said, you can email them into Angela. Uh, and we are open for essential care for serious conditions and avoiding serious relapse. Just a reminder of our upcoming events. We're trying to provide as much information for you, for family, loved ones. Share it with others. The yoga is cool. It's getting started, coming up soon. You'll see an online mini yoga session that you can watch, as well as a Zumba coming up. And then you'll have an opportunity to sign up for a Zoom yoga with Aisha. It's just $5 a class, keeping an extremely small class as well as a very low cost. So you just make those payments at the office. And I'm looking forward to talking about nutrition, because we mentioned a lot today about that anti-inflammatory diet. So we got to find ways to stay motivated for that, and stay away from the fridge and the extra snacking. But if we are snacking, doing it in a healthy way. All right. Always stay connected with us. Do a review. We're trying to provide you with as much information as possible. So do a review on Facebook, Google. Share the information with others. We now have over 40 videos there for you. And we'd love you to share that information all over the world. I know that it's gone all over Canada already for people to be healthier overall. And thank you. Thank you for spending the time with me today.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.